Hey everyone, we will be starting in around 3 minutes. So if you want to grab a glass of water or something, this is your time to do it. So I think we're good to go. We already hit 100 people, so I think that's a good sign to kick things off. So welcome everyone. And this is our third webinar in this little series that we've done, which is called Getting Started with 11 Labs. So please let me know if you can't hear or see the screen in the chat. But as always, welcome, and I hope that we get the most time out of this one. So I'll be introducing who you'll be seeing today, and I'm sure that you know some people have seen us or have worked with us. So we have the full customer success international team from 11 Labs here. So myself, Vanessa, and Bogdan, and we'll be walking you through which I believe is like one of our most exciting releases, if not the most exciting release of the year, which is our B3 model in alpha. So a little bit of housekeeping before we start. You can use the chat if you want. If you have a question, please go in the question section, which is right next to the chat, and just post it there. And ask away. This is a space made for you to learn and to ask as many questions as you want. So I'll show you a little bit of what we want to do today. So we want to walk you first through a little bit of the product updates that we've released in the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months. Because at 11 Labs, we're also pushing the boundaries, so we're always releasing stuff. So I'll just go over everything that we've seen recently, and then we'll jump straight to the core, the meat of this webinar, which is our B3 alpha release. So Vanessa and Bogdan will walk you through what is the alpha, what are the key features from the new model. We'll do a little bit of a demo and show you a couple of examples of prompting and things that work really well with the model. We'll do a little bit of best practices and tips, and then we'll leave some time for Q&A. But again, it's so good to see all of you and that there's interest in this type of content. And as always, we're gonna post also polls here and questions, so please use it, be as interactive as you want. So yeah, I'll just kick things off. So in terms of, we don't only focus on text-to-speech, right? We have a lot of products in our product library. So I wanted to walk you through some of the recent releases that we've done in all of this. And I'm sure that if you haven't seen our first webinar, which is, getting started with 11 Labs, that is a great introduction to everything that we have to offer. So I would prompt you to see that webinar if you haven't. But in terms of product releases or updates that we've released with every single product. So I'll just start with text-to-speech, of course, the obvious one, the reason that we're here today. So the B3 alpha that we just released, so we'll deep dive into that. In terms of speech-to-speech, you've also seen that we integrated what we're calling actors mode into Studio. So that is a way of modifying speech-to-speech within our long-form audio platform. In terms of voice cloning, I'm sure you've seen the release that we did where we've reduced the amount of time you need to create a professional voice clone. So now with 30 minutes, you can get a professional voice clone done. And you can also see that we've implemented a new workflow to creating a professional voice clone. So we're always working on that as well. In terms of sound effects, we've also integrated sound effects into Studio. So Studio has become a more robust platform that not only handles the text-to-speech, but we have other tools there as well. And in terms of conversational AI, we just released Conversational AI 2.0, which are, if you don't know, that's the solution that we have for creating and building agents. So I'll deep dive into that in the next slide as well, because we released a lot of things for conversational AI. And then our speech to text model, Scribe, is released. And we're working on releasing a version for streaming, for real-time use cases as well. So check that out. That will be coming out soon as well. And then music, it's not quite there yet, but we will be releasing our music model as well very soon. So exciting times here at 11 Labs. And in terms of conversational AI, I wanted to do a quick stop here because we released a lot of things with our agents. So we released multimodality, which is basically the ability to do text and voice within the same agent. So not only can you speak to an agent, but you can also, input text and get text as well. So we also release language detection. So you can have agents that speak multiple languages and can detect multiple languages at the same time. So very useful for, countries where, we speak several languages and people go back and forth between one or the other, which is very useful as well. We've also improved upon, the turn-taking model for our agents. So whenever you're taking turns of speaking with someone, that is muchly improved and it feels a lot more natural. So we've also worked on that. In terms of agents accessing the knowledge base that you can do, we released the integrated RAG, so you can get much more accurate information and with a lot less latency. And then we've also introduced multi-character agents, which is basically the ability to change between multiple characters. So imagine having, different voices within the same agent or different, interactions within that same agent. So if you're using conversational AI, exciting times ahead. But I'll let Vanessa take over here, and I'll stop sharing my screen, and let's get straight to V3, which is the most exciting release so far. So I'll just stop sharing and let Vanessa take over, and I'll be here answering your questions as well. So
awesome, thanks, Gabo. So like Gabo said, feel free to drop questions in the chat. I have two very advanced 11 Labs Pro joining me today that can answer your questions async. But I'm just going to share my screen, and I am excited to have the honor to present our 11 Labs V3 today and walk you through this. But instead of hearing it from me, thought it would be great for you to hear directly from one of our friends at 11 Labs.
11 V3 is finally here, our most expressive text-to-speech model. And yes, it's in public alpha, which means it's powerful. But you'll want to guide it a bit. You're not just writing text anymore. You're directing a voice performance. Want to change the mood? Easy. Just drop in a tag. I never thought I'd hear a voice like this. You don't get it. This changes everything. I'm honestly thrilled. This is magic. Let's say you want a bit more drama. I shouldn't be telling you this, but the model actually gets it. Oh, and human quirks, we've got those. It's so real, it's borderline spooky. It's not just emotional range, it's conversational intelligence. And yes, it can do accents and dynamic speaker turns. Fancy a bit of dialogue then? Mamma mia, this is a perfection. Built for creators, for storytelling, for media tools, with support for 70+ languages, and it only gets better from here. Just prompt it right and let it speak.
Awesome. So you're probably going to dive into the 11 Labs platform afterwards and start having a ton of fun playing around with it. But there's so much you can do. Before I dive into the actual platform, though, over the last week since we've launched V3, we've gotten a ton of questions from our customers.
11 V3 is fine.
Oh, apologies. And wanted to make sure that we proactively answer some of your questions that that you've had for us, because we know that they're going to come up at the very end. So like we've said in multiple communications, this is a research preview and an alpha release. It does take more prompt engineering to provide an output. But as you could probably have seen in your own trial of this, the generations are absolutely breathtaking. Over the last week and over the next week, our research and engineering teams are continuing to fine tune this and improve the reliability in pursuit of launching our API. So I know a lot of you have reached out about the V3 Alpha API. Today, we're only going to be speaking about the UI version. So I'm sure a lot of you have already had a chance to take a look at it. Many of you have reached out about getting access to the API version. We will be giving access over the coming weeks, and we'll keep you posted about that. And we'll reach out proactively for those of you who have reached out. So if you have a dedicated customer success manager, feel free to reach out to us, and we can help you get set up for when it does get released. And the last thing I will say, as we're improving this, your input actually matters. So the more that you use the platform in the UI and test out V3 and download the generations you like best, that actually facilitates some of the improvements that we're making. Secondly, around research and product. So our V3 model is a research-based product. As you know, 11 Labs is a research company first, with amazing products layered on top of it. So our V3 model is research-based, which makes it a little bit more difficult to give specific timelines on when we're going to release things like our API, as well as things like director's mode, which is coming soon, as well as the real-time version. So more to come on that. Your customer success team will be keeping you updated on that, but we unfortunately don't have specific timelines. And then I did already see a question in the chat around V3 being available in other products across 11 Labs. So that is coming as well, but unfortunately no timelines. So I'm going to dive right into the platform, and feel free to ask any questions on what I just shared. Give me 1 second.
I'm loving all the questions, so keep them coming. This is very good.
Love it. All right, everyone can see my screen okay? Awesome. So this is the UI, which again, you've probably all accessed many, many times in your journey with 11 Labs. If you're new to it, like Gabo said, we have a lot of really great webinars on getting started with different features. So I recommend taking a look at those if you're new to using the 11 Labs platform. When you go to text to speech, you'll see on the right-hand side, there's a couple kind of settings that you're probably used to from some of your time using the platform, especially on the text-to-speech side. But when you select V3, you're going to see a couple different nuances to the UI. So first is around our settings. So the only setting that's available today with V3 is stability. Stability is really controlling the creativity of how creative or how less creative your audio is going to be. So the slider scale really controls it. It's defaulted to right in the middle, which is the most natural and what we recommend at this point for V3. The more robust you get, the more it is similar to our V2 model. And then the more creative you get, it is creative, but it is more prone to hallucinations. So recommend staying right in the middle here. Bogdan's going to go into more detail on this, but you can see the voices that are best for V3. So you can actually filter right in the UI on the voices that we've pre-selected for you to try as part of the V3 model. So there's a ton of different options here, whether you're a creator, whether you're putting together audiobooks, whether you're more on the conversational AI or media and entertainment space, tons of different options here for you. And we're continuing to expand on this library. As you saw in that little demo I did of V3, this is available in, there's 70 plus languages that are available in text in the V3 model. So more languages to come as we evolve this. I have a pre-selected prompt that I've put here, and Jessica is one of my favorite voices in the library, but you'll see in some of the other examples, there's a number of different voices that we like to use. You can see here, there's a new feature in our UI which is called Enhance Alpha. So as you've probably already seen, the key to 11 Labs V3 is really around prompting. So it is going to be more of an art, as you'll see, and the tags really represent the art in prompting. We've actually released a really amazing prompting guide for you. So we'll share that as a resource as we share the recording after this webinar. But I would recommend taking a look at that. I've already loaded some of these emotions or expressions that I want the text to kind of show when it plays. And before I play it, I'm going to just talk about these generation 1 and generation 2. So I mentioned earlier that your input matters. This is what I mean by that. The generation that you end up liking the best and downloading will help us, help our engineering team figure out, okay, this was a better version of this particular audio, and it's going to help us improve our model over time. So please, I encourage you to actually download the generation that you like best, because it's going to help us improve the model very quickly. So I'm going to play you this particular text, and you can hear the actual tags in action and all of the amazing things that our text-to-speech V3 can do.
All right, guys, seriously. Can you believe just how realistic this sounds now? I mean, oh my God, it's so good. Like, you could never do this with the old model. For example, could you switch my accent in the old model? Didn't think so, but you can now. Check this out. I'm going to speak with a French accent now, and between you and me, I don't know how. Okay, here goes. That's life, my friend. You can't control everything. Isn't that insane? Watch, now I'll do a Russian accent. The GoldenEye is fully operational and ready for lunch. Absolutely insane, isn't it? I also have some party tricks up my sleeve. I mean, I did go to music school. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear 11 Labs. Happy birthday to you.
Awesome. So that was a longer prompt, but this was the one I liked better. So I'm going to actually go and download it. And the interesting thing that you can also do, you may have seen on LinkedIn some of the videos that we've posted. So you can actually share this as a video. So if you click the little arrow button, you can see that this will automatically create a video for me, and you can select the color that you color scheme that you'd prefer, and then go and generate video. So if this is something you want to share internally with your colleagues or on LinkedIn or anywhere else, highly recommend trying this out. And you know, after the webinar, if you go and try this, tag the customer success team, because we'd love to see what you come up with. So this is a singular speaker example. There's a number of other examples that we can show you. I'm going to show you the multi-speaker, but before I do, I'm going to show you more of a professional type of scenario that might be of interest to you. So a lot of you are more in the conversational AI space or are exploring more professional use cases for text-to-speech. So if I were to show you this other example, this is more of a scenario where someone is speaking to a customer and wanting to have more of that emotional empathy to mirror what the customer is saying to them. So I'm going to just show you this.
Thank you for calling Tech Solutions. My name is Sarah. How can I help you today? Oh no, I'm really sorry to hear you're having trouble with your new device. That sounds frustrating. Okay, could you tell me a little more about what you're seeing on the screen? All right, based on what you're describing, it sounds like a software glitch. We can definitely walk through some troubleshooting steps to try and fix that.
So you can see in this example, this is a little bit more professional. It also matches the voice that I selected. So Bogdan's going to share this with you, but the voice really does matter in the emotion that you're trying to convey in the text-to-speech. So making sure that you're selecting the right voice to match that. But you can see, you know, tons of different use cases here. And then the last one I'm going to show you is one of the ones that I really love. And it was something that we used to advertised for the webinar that we're doing today, and it's a multi-speaker dialogue. And before I pass it to Bogdan, I will just share this one. So before I play this, this is one of my favorite ones because one of these speakers, and I won't tell you who, is actually an employee of 11 Labs. So we have some really amazing former voice actors or even people that have amazing voices on the team that have gone and cloned their voices, and we've used that for some of our customers and even some of these demos.
Okay, Chris, you are going to be so excited for this.
Okay, what's going on?
You know how 11 Labs just launched their new V3 model? I've been staring at my account for hours, filled with so much excitement that I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, this morning, I heard from an inside source that their customer success team is hosting a webinar next week for existing customers, showing a live demo and even sharing best practices and live examples.
I wish it was this week, but I guess I'll have to wait.
I'm so looking forward to this. I can't wait to check this out and learn from the best.
Well, you're learning from the best now. Hopefully you think so too. And on that note, I'm going to pass it over to Bogdan, who's going to dive into some of our best practices and dive a bit deeper on the V3 model.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Give me just 1 second. Okay. There we go. So in terms of best practices, so as Vanessa has shared already, there are certain considerations to keep in mind. The first one is that the prompt length matters because our models are contextual. If you aim for generations with 250 characters or more, the model is going to read more into the situation and provide you with a better output compared to shorter generations. Now, this is not to say that you can't generate shorter generations, but they might, or rather may, underperform compared to the other one. The second piece, and I cannot stress this enough, is choosing the right voice. So at the moment, as you will see, because we're still in alpha, only a kind of a subset of voices that we've tagged as best voices for V3, alongside with your IVCs, are going to work well with the model, or rather, they're going to give you the best possible results. And I've seen a couple of questions, being asked around this, like, will the previous PVCs work with the model, and what kind of voices do we have to record to actually get that emotional range? And the answer here is it depends, or rather, what you want is effectively for the audio sample to contain all of those emotional cliffs and troughs that you want for that specific generation. So to give you an example, if I want to convey both happiness but also sadness within my use case, let's say I create short stories or audiobooks, what I will need to do is within my audio sample, I will need to have both the happy, in this case, Bogdan, or the sad one, right? In order for those tags to work effectively. And then if you're going for, let's say, a more targeted niche, let's say you're looking for a football commentator, right? Like, what you want is to stick to that specific emotion throughout the entire recording to get the most out of it. And finally, if you go for a more neutral recording, as was probably the case up until now with the majority of our voices, they will yield the most stable results. But at the same time, you are kind of sacrificing a little bit of that creativity. I will repeat, right? Like, the stable results will also kind of give you a little bit more in terms of stability of speaking other languages too. So keep that in mind when you're generating those voices. The kind of the third piece to keep in mind here is it does require a little bit of prompt engineering. So if you want to get the most out of your generation, make sure that the prompts that you're giving it, or rather the tags, are matching the voice that you have selected. So if for example, I have my, the example of the energetic football commentator, and now I'm asking him to whisper, that's not going to fly, right? So you need to make sure that whatever is in the audio sample also gets translated when you're prompting the specific generation. And like I said, do play around with it a little bit. I think I've already shared in one of the questions the different tags that we have available. We will certainly be kind of working on that and adding additional ones. As mentioned, we're in alpha, but yeah, more to come on this front. I do appreciate that PVC support is something that is very important, and that will be coming soon, or rather when we fully launch the model. But yeah, watch the space. With that being said, I think we're ready to go into the Q&A.
Yeah, and I think Bogdan, I can like taking advantage that you're here. Like some of the things that some people have asked is, for example, can you add tags in other languages other than English if the text that you're using is in English?
Yes, you can. So for example, I actually had this example today where I was doing a couple of tags in Italian. So they do work. I will be completely honest and say I haven't fully tested it out in other languages. So potentially for now, English will give you the best results. But I do know for a fact that doing it in other languages does work.
Perfect. Another one that we had, like because we're getting a lot of questions, which is amazing, but my fingers aren't that fast, so I'm trying to reply to all of them. One thing that people are asking and other customers have asked is about the enhanced feature that is in the UI there. So I don't know if you can talk us through that one.
Yeah. So effectively, the enhance feature, what it does is it's from the kind of text that you have provided it will take that context and assign specific tags that the model recommends. So I would say that as well is in its alpha stage. So use it sporadically and feel free to don't treat it as gospel. If it's working, fantastic. If it's not, play around with it a little bit. But the idea, obviously, for us is to enhance it to the stage where we'll be able to do that step for you.
Amazing. And then another one that we had is voices from other languages, and I can answer that. So we'll be adding more voices to that list of best voices for V3. And you'll probably see them getting added this week or in the next coming week. So we'll continue to add voices in other languages there. But the idea is when this is fully released, this will support all other languages. So yeah, remember, like we said, and we can't stress this enough. This is an alpha, so this is a research preview, and the final version is going to be so much better in every single aspect. Then another one, Bogdan, if you want to take this one as well. So we're people are asking, is this the full director's mode that we've been talking about for months now?
No, this is just scratching the surface. So effectively, for now, we're moving ahead with the tags with the alpha, but director's mode is going to be effectively its own separate feature.
Okay, amazing. And then for example, another one that I just saw. So if we're aiming for 250 characters at least, remember that this is just for the alpha version. So what we have in the UI at the moment. In the future, and I saw also other questions about this. We're going to be integrating this into other products. So you'll see V3 in Studio. So it's going to support longer forms of audio, and it's just going to get better as well for shorter forms of audio. But 250 characters is the sweet spot at the moment. And then let me see what other questions we had. I don't know if you guys saw any other.
Yeah, I've seen one from Daniel actually. Let me answer that live. So Daniel asked, does aiming for 250 characters means that they're less useful for super low latency scenarios where text is streamed in? Yes, Daniel. So for the time being, the model is only, I would say, useful for non-low latency scenarios, although we are working on fine-tuning the model for low latency scenarios as well. Then Dan asks, if we should include this emotional range in PVC creation data, will the default generations not prompted with any emotional behavior tag from that PVC include the expressive range, or have more middle of the line behavior? I would say it will take more. Very good question. I think it will take more of the middle of the line behavior. It will depend how extremely you do this. Obviously, if you just have shouting and whispering, you're probably not gonna have a good output. But I think if you have a certain portion of it speaking normally or casually, right, and then you have those expressive moments, you're gonna get the best results. But more to come on the PVC side.
Awesome.
And then let me throw one to you, Gabo.
Yeah.
Vincent asks, does V3 currently support IPA or CMU format?
Not at the moment. So what you see in the UI is basically what we're testing out at the moment. So full release, it's going to be very different. This is going to be integrated in some way. So I would say patience. And unless you know something that I don't know, so the answer is not for now. Like this is, again, a research preview, an alpha. So don't expect the final result to be exactly what you're seeing at the moment. It's going to get better in every single way. So that's good news here.
Yeah, I would echo that. I would say that's spot on. Please keep in mind this is still very much in research, not the polished product. And any feedback that you as both our users and audience have is highly appreciated.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're running out of time. So again, like we'll just share. I don't know if Vanessa, if you can go to the next slide or Bogdan.
I can go to the slide.
Which is you know how to reach us. Like most of you talk to us on a daily basis, or you have our emails. But again, if you don't talk to us, please, you have that success at 11labs.io alias. You can reach out if you have questions, if you have any feedback. Like we're always here to listen and work with you. And again, we'll post this webinar sometime this week in our website. So if somebody from your company or you want to review what we saw, like you can check it out there. And we've also posted the 2 previous webinars that we've done. So the first one was like a general introduction to the UI, everything that you can do there. The second one, we focused on Studio. And this is our third one. So again, like for example, now that I will ask you, like if you want to see a specific webinar, send us an email on that, or you can write it now in the chat because we're getting feedback on what we should be focusing on next. But we're trying to do this like every 2-3 weeks to connect with you guys and hear what you have to say. But I hope this was useful. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Bogdan. And thanks to the 160 something people that joined. It's great to see so many of you. And yeah, if you want to modify something or give us feedback on these sessions, it's always welcome. So again, share your feedback.
Yeah, I've also put a poll in the polling section, so we can see which pieces are, or rather, how good did we do the actual job. And to echo what Vanessa was saying, any questions that we didn't tackle during the webinar, we'll come back to you with answers.
Amazing. So I'll go ahead and end the event. So thanks everyone for joining, and see you soon, I hope.
Thanks everyone.